Holy moly, would you look at this? New product from the guys over at Latitude. They got the Bite Bow Hanger, a solid piece of aluminum bow hanger. I got my hands on this thing over at one of the shows that they were at that I went to, and the thing is sweet. If you need you a bow hanger, which everybody that sits in a tree stand or a saddle needs a bow hanger, go check this thing out. 30 bucks, latitudeoutdoors.com. It's time to start thinking about whitetail gear. ASIO Gear offers a fantastic solution for any of your clothing needs. They've crafted a premium line of bow hunting gear that stands out in quality, especially for the price point. What's more, every purchase from ASIO comes with a lifetime warranty. That gives you some peace of mind there with clothing. With their unique camo pattern and great technology in their garments, ASIO ensures you'll stay comfortable in the stand or in the saddle or whatever you're using. And here's the kicker. ASIO is offering a special deal to listeners. If you use the code ECHO15 at checkout, you can get 15% off your purchase of anything on the ASIO's website. So visit ASIOgear.com today to explore the selection of premium hunting clothing that they have over there. And finally, the original sponsor of this podcast, Stealth Outdoors. Makers of the greatest silencing tape on this side of Mars. And good news coming from Stealth Outdoors. Lou's offering everybody that listens to this show 10% off using the code BTE10. So, go to stealthoutdoors.com. Make sure you get your silencing tape. Get you a shirt from Lou. Go over there and support Lou. He's a great guy with a great product. Visit stealthoutdoors.com. All my partners are in the description of this podcast. Go check them out. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Just me tonight. This has been a weird week. We have Vacation Bible School, which is my wife is in charge of that at our church. So she's had to be there all night, every night this week. So it's been me and Hayes, and it's really hard to get a show in when you got a baby. But he's sleeping right now, and his Mimi is on. She's right next door, and she's going to come over if he wakes up. So we got some time tonight to talk. I didn't want to have a guest on this week because I wasn't sure, how all this would go. So if it gets interrupted, it's just me losing time, not a guest. And I just thought I would give people some channel updates, podcast updates, just do some Q&A with everybody, whether it be hunting related, maybe give you guys some hunting related content, and we'll just go from there. Just make it a me and you guys, kind of me and the audience podcast tonight. What's up, Nolan, Zeke, Jay, Charles? Good to see you guys on. If you guys have a question, just put a question mark in the chat, and then ask your question after the question mark, if that makes sense. So it's been a busy week for me. I've been trying to do more of the vlog style videos on this channel. There's a few reasons why I enjoy them more than this kind of content, making it. This kind of content's way easier to make, way easier. But it's not real fulfilling. Creatively wise, it's not very fulfilling, right? It's sometimes it gets good views, sometimes it doesn't, but there's no real creativity to do anything with these types of videos. It's just me getting on here and talking, and it records, and then it goes up to YouTube. Whereas when I make these, 8-minute vlogs, I get to just have fun with them and do some things. So I want to do more of those. They're not going to be every day, but I want to do a few a week at least, maybe even more. During deer season, I probably will do more and more of them, as long as there's something interesting happening. Today, last night and then this morning, there wasn't anything interesting happening. I had a consulting job I had to do in Kentucky. So you guys aren't interested in that. So I didn't do one today. Instead, I was going to do this. And Hayes is waking up. So let me text my mom real quick and tell her to head over and grab him. I figured this would happen. 1 second, everybody. Okay. Should be over. She's literally 50 yards from me right now. And Yeah, so I want to do more of those vlogs. I hope you guys enjoy those because I really enjoy making them. I also want to make them like selfishly because I have made some in the past. A couple years ago, and dude, I love going back to those vlogs and just seeing Huck, and um, it's cool to see your kids at that age because you don't remember how small they are. Um, hey J Tack Outdoors, Laurel Highland Outdoors. What's up, everybody? Um, there's that going on. I drew my Iowa tag. I don't know if I've said that on this show or not yet. I did draw my Iowa tag, so there's probably going to be a pretty good amount of time spent in Iowa this year. I am going to do my best to get out there this summer and put out some trail cameras now because that I guess that's legal again. That whole ordeal is a mess. It's just a cluster like everything else that happens in the government. Seems like. Um, so I am going to try to get out to Iowa for a few days. That will obviously be a good vlog there. A good few vlogs that will be deer hunting related. Going to do more stuff with Huck. Um, Obviously, right now, this particular time in our lives, his mom is super important to Hayes, and she, she doesn't get to spend as much time with Huck as she would want to. So I get to spend a lot of time with him. So we're going to do a lot of things together tomorrow. Like Sunday, we're going out to the um, some wilderness area around here and doing some hiking around, camping, kind of foraging, that kind of thing. We're going to make a video about that. Um, Probably this year, I'm really leaning towards going completely trad and just shooting my trad bow during the during the deer season. I've been out there messing with that new Northern Miss bow that I have. Not new, I've had it for a couple of years, but I never really messed with it till this year. And man, I love that thing. And the thing is just shooting right now where where my eyes are looking at, and makes me makes me enjoy it. Just like getting back to, I don't know, man. I get so frustrated with the hunting industry anymore. Like, and I used to kind of fall victim to it, if you want to say it like that. But like the just the all the clickbaity stuff with technology and all the advancements that's going on right now, and I just get so overwhelmed by it. I guess like people care way, way, way too much about that stuff, man. And I just, I don't know. I just want to do me and do what makes me happy, and shooting a doe or a 6 pointer with a trad bow would make me happy. Um, Early season, I have Tennessee velvet hunt in the books right now. I'm going to go down there. Probably going to shoot some with a rifle down there again, um, just to get some meat in the freezer. We are low on deer meat right now. I did not kill enough deer last year. Hey Russ, JB, what's up, man? Um, and Yeah, I'm gonna stack them up a little bit. Probably take some of Scott Cronin's advice and shoot some more does than I usually do. I'm guilty of being kind of bad about that sometimes. Is like because I do get a lot of buck tags since for what I travel around and do. So I always fill those and then don't shoot any does for whatever reason. Especially now with the boys, like it's hard for me just to go out doe hunting um, and take time to away from them. But it's important, and we need more meat anyway, so might as well. Russ, what's up, man? Sorry about you making this one. This one may not be the best one to make. Maybe it will be. I don't know what we'll get into. The Awaken series that's still going on. We haven't done one yet this week. Patrick actually hurt his back at work Monday and laid in bed the rest of the day and just kind of was down and out. And uh, and then we had the vacation Bible school thing. But we are thinking about doing one tomorrow mid afternoon. Just doing a quick Bible lesson or something tomorrow mid afternoon, and then we'll have ours for this week. So I should have been more transparent about like what was going on this week because it's so busy in our household. But I just slipped my mind, I guess. But I made this one. I made it tonight. Guests coming up. There's quite a few. We have Latitude's doing their giveaway. Probably going to have Alex from Latitude come on and talk about saddle hunting and just that topic in general. Super interesting to people. A lot of people are still um, learning some of the saddle stuff, and they have some cool stuff coming up right now because they are doing they kind of merged with TX5, and they got some new products coming out that they've designed based on that. Um, so I'll have him come on and chit chat. Man, Alex is also like a really good deer hunter. Like if you guys haven't went over, like I think the content of the year for me on YouTube for like creators was Latitude stuff that they did. Like their hunting show that they produced this year was so good. I mean, it was so well done, really high quality. They killed some really nice deer. Told They did a very good job of telling stories. I mean, their every episode was just a great story, and kudos to those guys. If you haven't went over there and checked their YouTube channel out, like it's a good time to go watch it because not what else you going to do right now? It's 110 degrees out. And if you want some different content, what else? Jay asked a question. Oh, a couple questions here. Russ, what part of Iowa are you planning on? I drew 4. That's all I'm disclosing. No, I got a little bit of private land I can hunt in Iowa, and then pop around on some public too, but it's in 4. And then how long? Jay asks how long it takes you to get to Iowa. 10 hours. It's not real close to my house, really. It's a bit of a haul for me to get out there to Iowa. So as you guys know, or some of you know, I used to work in the ag industry. I still do. That's what I was doing this morning. But if you want to like have a lot of spots to hunt, the ag industry is a really good industry to get into. I don't know if you necessarily want to be a farmer, but if you can work in that field somehow, um, and make some contacts with farmers is a really good industry to be in if you're a hunter. As long as you're on the right side of it, right? Like some farmers don't get to hunt much because they're harvesting and they're planting in the spring for turkey season and all that. But if you can get in to the opposite side where you're like I do mycotoxin management control for feed mills, and I can, I don't, I'm not tied down to some kind of date or anything, but or season, so it's good. It was good. Um, yeah, being a diesel mechanic, yeah, because you're probably dealing with a bunch of farmers. Like I think a vast majority of diesel owners are probably farmers. I don't know that for a fact, but I guarantee it's a high percentage of your business is probably coming from farmers and like stupid rednecks that spend too much money on trucks, right? That they don't need, so they can blow smoke and whatever else. Zeke says try doing some whitetail adrenaline stalks with your trad bow. Yeah, I probably will if the opportunity presents itself for sure. Man, those guys are crazy. I'd like to get Jared on the show sometimes. I don't really know him that well, but um, he may come on. I don't know. I'm probably not pushy enough with guests. I know some people are very adamant about who they get on and stuff like, um, but I'll reach out, and if they don't get back to me, I usually just drop it. Zeke, what do you have here? I know guys who haul cattle to out of state ranches and get permission on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All those little things are really good tips for getting permission on private around the country. And for me, we when I was working in the egg industry, we had a plant in Iowa, and I had to go out there for some feed mill quality stuff, and just made friends with the mill manager, and his family are farmers, right? So um, his name's John, and I just always talk to him about, hey man, if I ever draw Iowa, can I come out and hunt your farms? And he's like, yeah, man, come on out. And he was good for his word. Buck Slayer, the winner of the ASIO gear giveaway, everybody. Oh, I haven't read I didn't read all your comments. What's up, man? Buck Slayer, I would be patient. Like wait until August because they're coming out with a bunch of new gear in August. Then you'll have some more options. Um, dang, man. That stupid frog gigging thing. I got a bunch of bug bites on my legs, and I just scratched one of them. I'm bleeding everywhere. But hey, Chad, what's up, man? Pheasant hunted in Iowa farm. Yeah, I have never been pheasant hunting. Never have. I wouldn't mind opposed to going. I would like to, but we just didn't do it growing up, so I never ended up going pheasant hunting. Um, I think it'd be cool. I love hunting with dogs. Just we didn't have them around here, as you know, going out to Iowa. But my grandpa, none of them ever pheasant hunted. We used to have quail in the in this farm that I used to. I can still hunt, but the CRP field's gone now, so I don't know how many quail are around now. But my buddy Ben, who I think I've talked about him on the show before. He loves bird hunting. He goes out west bird hunting a lot. He has a dog, and they do some of those like put and shoot. I think that's what it's called, put and shoot things. I don't know if I'm really into that, but yeah, let me know if you go. I don't know. I may tag along if I got the time and all that. Zeke, yeah, I don't have any time to hit anything without a hoof. I feel you, dude. Uh, I really love small game hunting. Like that's when I was young. We did that all the time. We had rabbit dogs, we had coon dogs, we had a squirrel dog. Um, but things, one by one, you get rid of a dog dies, and then you just don't ever get in. You just don't do it anymore. Man, I've been really enjoying fishing again this year. I've only been a couple times, but I think about it a lot now. And I used to. Fun fact about me, not that I was good at it, but I did a lot of tournament fishing like in my early 20s whenever you had time and all that, to go doing a bunch of bass tournaments, stupid bass tournaments. Me and my cousin did it, and my one of my buddies, but we had a little. Indiana has like a bass circuit like all the other states do, and we fished every weekend and once during the week. And man, I love doing that, especially whenever certain type of I love jig fishing and like flipping and that kind of thing, flipping lily pads, and I love fishing like that. Um, so recently I've been like thinking about that stuff more, and I'm like, I'm wondering what's going on with like the MLF and bass and all that, and or whatever it's called now. The um, I don't know. They got another organization now, FLW. Anyway, man, it sounds like they're kind of in a mess right now with that live scope, the forward facing sonar. It's kind of that's like the topic of the cell camera world of hunting. The live scope is the topic of the hot topic right now in the fishing world. And I guess like in those tournaments, all the top boats that are weighing in fish are they're live scoping, which is essentially from what I've understand is it's just like a video game kind of. Once you get it figured out, you're fishing off of a screen, and those guys put 3 or 4 great big, 12-inch fish finders on the front of their boat, and they're running all this technology under the water so they can see, and they can just, like a netted rig or a drop shot, they can just flip that out there and the fish. And I talked to a buddy that does still fish that, and he has it on his boat, not to that extent. He just has one of them. He don't have 4 or 5 setups on his boat, but he said, dude, you can tell if it's a bass, you can tell if it's a crappie, you can tell if it's he's like a catfish, you can see it. Um, Plain as day. He's like, if there's a brush pile, and you can tell how many limbs are in a brush pile. He said it's like looking underwater. Um, so they're going through that right now. I guess like a bunch of the young guys coming up in the NBA BASS are winning all those tournaments now because they're really good with their electronics, And there's a big uproar. I don't know. That's my little knowledge I've seen of it, but I say that because it's like technology is creeping into all of our traditional um, hobbies or ways of life, and I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It's a weird time we're living in right now. Um, it's like especially at the pro level, which hunting is. It's not a sport, right? Really, there's no competitions or not any serious ones, at least not like in bass fishing, but in every other sport or activity that men partake in and get competitive with, we do that. they have to limit technology eventually. Like in baseball, the professionals can't use aluminum bats because it makes the game too easy, and their ballparks are too small for aluminum bats for that level of player. It's happening in golf right now. They're talking about making the balls that the pros use different than the amateurs, because their golf courses are not adequate enough for um, these players now that can hit it forever and um, all that. So they're talking about rolling back the golf ball and technology. I think every sport's like that, right? The NBA, they I don't know, they make the better players shoot from farther away for 3 points, whatever the case may be. Maybe that's not apples to apples. I don't know. I don't know much about basketball. I think it's annoying, but um, yeah. So it's a weird time we're living in, and I think we're going to have to do something. Like you have to, like, obviously, like, we regulate drone usage in hunting. Um, you see Iowa, yeah, and someone asked earlier about if you can use trail cameras in Iowa now. I think yes. I think they kind of brought back their initial law, or the revision of the law. What happened was they revised a law, a trail cam law, or a technology law that included trail cameras now, and they kind of went back on that, and they said they're going to revisit it next spring. I don't know if they'll. I'll say I'd say what happened was, I'd say people threw a major fit, and Iowa. I mean, there's some of the biggest names in hunting are in Iowa, um, and it probably didn't fly. I'd say some calls got made, and now we're all of a sudden we can use cameras in Iowa again, which is fine. I mean, that's it is what it is. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where my place is in that conversation. Um, I don't think they're needed per se. There's an industry there, like in bass fishing. That life scope it's a money thing, right? There's money to be made on that stuff. Those companies all sponsor these professional tours or have an involvement in it. They even show the live scope or the forward facing sonars on TV now. Like they have the TV um, tapped into the fish finders, so that whenever those guys are sitting there looking at that fish finder, flipping that drop shot over this fish, they can go in and put that up on your TV screen to watch the drop shot go in and the bass eat it. So it's good TV for BASS and or bass, and that's it's a little bit hard to make fishing content entertaining, and that's one way they do it. So it's like, I don't know, will they ever bring that technology and bring it back, or downgrade a little bit? I don't know. Depends who you ask, probably. Um, yeah, there you go, Russ. Public hearing in February. So yeah, I'm not. I guess after deer season they'll do it. Let's see here. We got some fishermen on here talking about. My buddy told me, like, he's like, if you're just wanting to go out and catch fish, like if you're a meat fisherman, he's like, you want to go catch a mess of crappie. He's like, dude, I guess he said you can get a whole setup for about $1,200, $1,500, which is actually cheaper than I thought it was. Because whenever I started hearing about this, I'm like, I bet this stuff's 5 grand, 10 grand. And he's like, no, you can get it pretty nice setup for 12 to $1,500. I'm like, oh, that's not as bad as I thought. He's like, dude, if I had a 14-foot crappie boat, he's like, I'd buy one for it. He's like, you can go out there and find crappie like it's no problem, and then fill up your freezer if you're just a meat fisherman. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Um, Again, this is me. Just I've never actually used this stuff, so we didn't have all that stuff back when I was fishing. Yeah, the top boats put weights and fish. Yeah, I think that's getting exposed a lot. It seems like with social media, I mean, you hear a lot of people getting caught doing that, putting fish weights or whatever down into the mouth of a fish. Yeah, this is a good tip, hot tip here. Something fun to do in the spring is go find you a big creek and wade it. Just put on some Crocs or flip flops or whatever, and it's nice and cool in that creek. and you can catch there's all kinds of cool fish in creeks around here, man. There's bass, there's little mud cats, bluegill, crappie. I mean, you're right, buck slayer. I'm probably gonna go creek fishing this weekend again. Uh, let's see here. That's what me and Huck were doing. I don't know. It's been a while back ago now, but me and him went on. He likes to just play in the creek. He doesn't care about fishing really. He likes it whenever I catch him, but he doesn't. He could take it or leave. He doesn't have the patience yet. Rush, yeah, this is what I think the majority of like I don't want to call them the old heads, but the guys that have been around a long time. That I get the feeling that they're all kind of in agreement that the live scope or the forward facing sonars probably shouldn't be allowed. Um, Now, I know a lot of them use it, right? Like if you want to actually, this is their livelihood and how they make their money. So I guess you got to use it. I mean, I guess it'd be like in baseball that they make aluminum bats legal and they make the fields bigger, and then you're hard headed and you keep using a wooden bat. Like that'd be like, I don't think I'd do that. So that's a weird, dude. It's a weird thing, like that how monetized fishing is, right? It's weird. Um, just because of that factor, like there's, I mean, could you imagine it? Like somehow there's like a professional hunting league that we all can, and they can film us all and or film the professional hunters, and you yeah, like technology comes in, you got to start using live live feed trail cameras because everybody else is using them, and they're killing all these deer. Like that's what they're doing with bass fishing. It's weird. It's a weird thing. Yeah, I got asked this the other day, Zeke. He said, I still think drones are great for out of season scouting, less invasive and can be more invasive and can be more can move more, or yeah, can cover more ground. Sorry, I read like a sixth grader. But they went to ban DJI. I bought one for $1,200 last year. I got a drone. I use it for videos. I've never scouted with it though. It's actually illegal in Indiana to do it. Um, yeah, the problem is people. I mean, it just takes one bad apple to ruin a bunch, right? Like someone's going to abuse it, and then it's gonna go all over the internet, and then all of a sudden everybody that has a drone is a poacher, right? That's the crappy part about this, man. Um, I'm thinking about doing our next Bible study, our next Awaken podcast about when Jesus dealt with the hostile crowd. I can't remember exactly where it's at. Zeke would know in the Bible. I got to look it up, but essentially what happened was there's a hostile crowd, and Jesus um, calmed them down by you know asking them, the only people that can speak are those who have never sinned. Um, yeah, I got to study up on it a little more, but it feels like that is the story of the internet right now. If that makes sense. Nick, okay. I have owned a fly rod once. I don't know what happened to it. I think I broke it maybe. I don't know. I used to practice with it a little bit in the yard. Never have caught a fish on a fly rod. But there's something called a takanta, katana rod. I can't remember exactly, but I'm interested in that because they kind of fold in. They don't have a reel on them. They fold in real nice. I'd like to have one of those for like when I go to Colorado and go up to a high country lake. Um, I think that'd be cool. Okay, so I've had comments about my pinky before and how my hands are weird. Um, I never have. I've had several over the years, but all my fingers. I used to play a lot of sports growing up, and my fingers are kind of jacked up. But this one in particular, it doesn't really do much. I was coon hunting one night with my dad, and there was a one of our dogs was treeing, and it was dark out, obviously, and we were running to the tree or walking quickly to the tree, and I fell over a stump and landed on another stump, and it broke this finger and like popped it out all the way, like where it was hanging down like this. Um, and my so coon hunting was over. Let's put it that way. We got the dog off the tree and we went back to my uncle's house. Nobody was home, and my cousin was home. My cousin was there. I shouldn't say nobody. My uncle wasn't home. My cousin shows up, and he was a wrestler in college, and he was like, "Oh, dude, I've I popped back in all kinds of fingers in college." He said we'd always get them stuck on the mats, and they would pop out. So he popped it back in for me. I don't know. I never has been the same since. Like it's all messed up. But anyways, fun fact for you: coon hunting dangerous. Anyway, what was I saying with this stuff? I would like to get one of those Cantana. I think it's Cantana rods and try that. But I don't have much interest in fishing, in fly fishing. Maybe if I was in a better fly fishing state, I would. No, I haven't buck slayer. I haven't set my compound up. I was saying earlier, I don't know if I'm going to use a compound this year. I may just use my trad bow. Are you guys like messing around with the DJI thing? You'll be grandfathered in if you already have a DJI. In what way are they? What way are they trying to outlaw them? And DJI is just a brand. It's not like you can't outlaw DJI, can you? I mean, DJI makes GoPro or action cams too. Yeah, casting the first stone. That's it. J. Yeah, that this is the word here. Um, Tarakana. I don't know, but yeah, that's the rod that I thought about getting. Tinkara, right? Here you guys go. It's in John 8. It's a really good story. One of my favorites in the Bible. Mm, really? So they are really trying to. So it's a long story. It comes down to a money trail and some politicians that are in with American drone companies. What the heck? Whatever, man. DJI is the only company that really makes good drone. I mean, affordable ones for the consumer. Oh, only China, dude. Half the crap we have in this country's China stuff. Um, hmm. Seems like a weird thing. It just seems like a weird thing for politicians to be involved in. I'm shooting razors, Robert. Razor broadheads. My buddy Dave is the one that owns the company. I talk to Dave almost every day. Not sponsored by him or anything. He gives everybody on the show 20% off. So if you listen to this podcast, use BTE and you get 20% off his broadheads. I don't get anything for it. Don't want anything for it. They're good heads. I've killed quite a few deer with them now. But yeah, razor broadheads, 200 grain. They're single bevels. I shoot the right bevel. Huh. Okay. I mean, I understand that, I guess, but it's weird. It's a weird thing. If you guys want a cool, um, Nolan, they have 125s. This is the lowest they go, but they have 125 grade heads now. Been reading this book by my man. I may have shared this with you guys last week. If I haven't, if I did, I'm sorry, but it's called Bow Hunting: A Passion for Life. It's with a guy named Monty Browning, but it's a really good book if you guys ever want to look at or have. It's a good book to have in your collection. Monty has had a lifelong journey in bow hunting, traditional bow hunting, and he goes through it here with like a really detailed pictures. Really, he likes to take pictures, and he's taken some just amazing pictures throughout the years with him and all the places he's been. Here's his. He has a mountain goat hunt here that he photographed. Just some really cool pictures. I love reading these kind of books and looking at these old pictures of these guys hunting. Man, this is these hunters back in these guys are the. Whenever I think of like men, you know, this is what I these guys are what I think about. I mean, and not there's nothing wrong with most of the way people hunt now. I think the vast majority of people are still very traditional in the way they hunt, and they probably don't pay attention to the stuff we're involved in, right? The detailed, um, involvement we get into hunting and the way we think about it. But um, these guys back in the day, they didn't have all this fancy gear that we have now, right? They just had some wool clothes. They had an old heavy backpack. They had a tent that probably weighed 15 pounds, and they'd carry that thing up in the mountains with a long bow, and they'd kill an animal. And no matter what you killed, it was awesome. And like they're just men, man. They shoot 75-pound longbows, and I don't know. I miss those times a little bit. Me and a particular bowyer were talking the other day, and um, my longbow is 62 pounds, and that's heavy now. Like that's heavy for guys now. Like most guys can't handle that anymore. And he was just like, "What the heck?" Like he's an old guy, and he shoots 72 pounds. He's like, "What is happening with men, man?" I'm like, I don't know. I said, I feel like I'm over. People think I'm overbowed for what I have. And he's like, "Yeah, what happened to being able to pull back a 72-pound longbow?" He's like, "Dude, I'm almost 70 years old," and he's like, "I still shoot 72 pounds." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just again, no. If you're a new traditional bow hunter, you probably should shoot like a 45 to 50-pound bow. But like he said, these guys that I don't know, it's just weird. It's a weird thing where um, it's a weird soft time we're living in, right? Unfortunately, people are probably going to have to start getting a little harder because things aren't going to always be um, easy, you know. Zeke, yeah, I've killed some buck spot and stalking them before. I'll try. I mean, I'll do it. I'll try it sometime again. Dan, do you have Osage? Some Osage staves? Yeah, I would take some from you if you have them handy. I don't know where you're from, Dan, but I'm getting low on staves. Keep breaking them. Yeah. I hear you, Zeke. China. I can't do a Trump impression, but he puts an H in there real heavily. His, he enunciates the H. Shane Gillis does the best Trump impression. All right, let me get caught up here. Sorry about getting on that tangent about things. Most men are men still, but some of them aren't. uh, with a flint arrowhead and trad bow, loincloth optional. I'm gonna be fully clothed when I go into the woods on film, at least. Probably would be a good video, like a funny video, but they can those guys can have them loincloths. So I think I'm good. My my yeah, I'm not good enough shape anymore to wear a loincloth around. Sean, yeah, things were fun back in the day. Probably because we were young too. That probably has a little bit to do with it. Everything was a little more fun whenever you were young. Zeke, yeah, this is a common problem with guys that shoot heavy bow weights. A lot of times now the arrows aren't stiff enough for your compound, so your shaft's just too weak for your um, the amount of force that's going against that shaft, and it flexes too much. That's the layman's way of explaining it. So that's the arrow's just not strong enough for a heavy weight. Plus 80 pounds at your draw. You're a big guy. I have no idea what your draw is, but that's your issue there, man. Is your arrow's too weak. I almost guarantee it. Have you guys seen all the flooding in Iowa? Them talking about how much nitrogen has gone into the water um, system from that. Zeke's here talking about chemicals in our bodies and how that messes with our hormones and our testosterone. Hey, we're going to be talking about that. My sister-in-law is going to come on and talk about this liver health program that she helps people with. Probably gonna do that next week sometime. I just want her to. I ended up losing 14 pounds doing that, by the way. But she's gonna come on just to a quick little podcast and talk about it in case anybody needs help with anything this season of their life. She's real knowledgeable about that kind of thing. Sorry, I always fiddle with stuff, and this is a thing of hot melt. It's not like a big booger or anything. It's just hot melt glue. Am I close to I-80, Dan? I don't know if I'll be close to I-80 or not, man. I'm like vaguely familiar with Iowa. I think so. Um, if you know where Guthrie Center or Stewart, Iowa is, I'll be around that area. That's where I'll probably stay. Jay Massey and Doug Borland. Okay, I'll check them out. Doug Borland, didn't he used to be on the Trad Quest podcast? I think I know him. A loincloth thumbnail. 62 pounds with a high tech longbow. Um, I think it's high tech. I don't know. It's a ALS bow, so it's not like a reflex deflex longbow. It's a Northern Miss Classic, so I don't think it's high tech. I mean, it's not a self bow by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also not like a high performance recurve or a there's more performing designs there, but I like the design of it. Plastics, dude, yeah. Um, Plastics are a weird thing. Like, I mean, obviously we use plastic and or petroleum based products in so much stuff. It's like, oh, here's the most annoying thing ever, guys. This or this paper straw thing. Me and Maddie went to had like a little date night and we went to this ice cream joint and we got milkshakes and there was nothing more disappointing than opening up a straw wrapper and it being a paper straw. I don't care. I don't care what it is. Um, that's yeah. But yeah, the plastics, they're probably not good for you. They say like you consume a credit card's worth of plastic every year. You know, that's not good. Like if you set right now and just ate a credit card, it'd probably kill you. Like, not good. Um, I don't know if that's true. I just someone told me that. Yeah, I'm not saying everybody's like a I'm not saying everybody's yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. You're right. Uh you guys, I think you're talking about Jacob. I think. I don't know. Yeah, Jacob. Yeah, he's a good young guy. Not necessarily talking about him. And we were just having a conversation. We weren't like, I don't know. It was more along the lines of the bow the bowyer he has to make all of his bows now are in that 40 to 50 pound range because nobody wants to buy a bow over 50 pounds and we were just talking. It wasn't anything serious. Yep. I think Jacob's working with the Mobile Hunter Expo guys, or I think that's what it's called, the Mobile Hunter Expo crew. I'm not sure if that's what their YouTube channel is, but I think he's working with them now. Soy Boys. I don't know what that is, Zeke. I don't know Eddie Claypool, Buckslayer. I don't know who that is. Sorry, brother. Who's Eddie Claypool? I want to have Jason back on sometime. Me and Jason been talking a decent amount lately. I want to have him back on. Also, I'm going to do like a camera gear video. I got a lot of things in my mind I want to do over the next until deer season. Soy milk drinking. Okay, I got you. I got you, dude. I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, I'm probably lactose intolerant, but if I drink milk or eat ice cream, dude, I get the nastiest gas. Like I gotta quit. I gotta quit drinking it and eating it. It makes me miserable. And I love milk and ice cream. Obviously, you shouldn't eat much ice cream anyway. But man, anymore, it gives me. I can't understand it. So I've been drinking a little bit of almond milk. I don't soy milk. I don't deal with that. But where's Eddie from, JB? I don't think I know him. Oh yeah, Paul will come on anytime. I'll message Paul and get him back on. Uh, yeah, cheese is good. Cheese is always good, man. Oh, nice, Oklahoma. Okay, I don't know very many people from Oklahoma, so yeah, I'll reach out to him if you guys think he's a good guest to have on. Maybe I'll listen to some of his stuff on Truth from the Stand. Clint Campbell's a really good guy. He helped me a lot when I was first starting out podcasting, just getting gear lined up and learning about how to just the ins and outs of podcasting as far as like getting podcast on different platforms. And sorry about this weird glare. The sun's setting in my window here. Man, Paul is he's a killer too. Man, he kills a lot of good deer out there out east. Zeke says his sister farts when she drinks milk. There you go, Zeke. I said it out loud for you. Oh man, we have a lot of fart talk in our house, or with Huck. He thinks that stuff's funny, and it kind of is. We got to cut him off sometimes. He gets a little bit too just ornery about it, but whatever. There's worse things he could think's funny. Did I embarrass her, Zeke? Did she get embarrassed? Oh, I'm sorry. Now you made me feel bad. Way to go, Zeke. Oh, poor girl. I shouldn't have done that. I should know better. Recommendations on starting a YouTube channel. Mm, okay. Like, there's some obvious things. Like, you got to try to be unique. You got to try to be different. Um, that's a big reason that I went my own way with Dan. Like, I couldn't just keep coattailing off the hunting beast. Like, I need to do my own thing. Like, it's not, even if I would have grown more with Dan on here every day, it's still just like not me. It's not me growing. It's him, which is fine. It's not what I want in my career. I gotta. Dan's not going anywhere for a long time. Like I gotta make my own way. So you got to be unique. You got to be yourself. Go with your gut on that kind of thing. Don't try to be the hunting public or Seek One or Meat Eater. Those guys are those guys. You got to be you. You got to find something unique. There's so much stuff on YouTube right now. If you don't have something unique, um, you know, you're not gonna be noticed. Um, you can't. I mean, it's just like right now, you see a lot of people, um, falling around the whatever's clickbaity right now. That's one way of going about it. It's just those are low hanging fruits. Like that's the easy part of YouTube. Like let's just make 4 or 5 videos about Iowa trail cameras because it's a hot topic, and that's probably a good method of at least getting some views. But I don't think you're going to gain a lot of subscribers by just talking about things like that all the time. You gotta have a personality, that and show your personality and let people get to know you because you got to build some kind of relationship with these people, right? Like all y'all that watch me every week, like some of you I know, like are friends now, and I know personally. So you got to build some type of a relationship, and sometimes that clickbaity stuff just doesn't. People are just there to see the latest gossip, and then they move on. So I would tell you that you also, um, you know, you just can't quit. Too, like you're not going to get any views your first, several videos, and the best thing you could do is just make a video, put it up, and then make another video, but make that next video a little bit better. Maybe learn a new editing skill and implement it into your next video. Maybe clean up your video, like how you talk. Like be conscious of something that you're, uh, you know, like me. I whenever I don't know what to say or my words start to leave me, I'll say, that's the type of thing you want to clean up. Still not good at it. Even after 100, almost 200 episodes of this, I still struggle with that. Um, just did it again. Be okay with pauses in videos. Like if you're, I think we use filler words a lot of times when we don't know what else to say. So we say, things like that. So also don't stop making them. Like I think most people fail because they just stop. Like I have 1,500 videos on this channel. If you make 1,500 videos and then you'll be successful at it. And I'm not even successful at it yet. Like I'm still a work in progress. So yeah, consistency. And I agree with you. The hunting tradition, like you got to be yourself for sure, but it's not always fun. Like sometimes I'm wanting to not make a video today, and you got to do it because that's YouTube, man. You gotta feed the beast. If you stop feeding it, it quits paying attention to you. So not always fun. It's not always fun unless you're just a hobbyist and just don't care about how much it grows or any of that. But if you really want for it to do well and grow, you have to be consistent and and keep after it. Just like your work, it's just like your work. If you want to do good at work, you gotta work all the time, right? Tips on getting partners. How do I win $500 worth of awesome gear? I got you can answer that, Buck Slayer. I ain't never won anything like that. I've given away some stuff like that. Never won anything like that. Doesn't usually come my way that way, which is fine. I don't really need anything, to be honest with you. Um, Tips on getting partners. I don't, is that a serious question, or are you just gloating in your winnings there, Buck Slayer? Dude, I'm so glad you won that. I always those those giveaways are super cool, right? But I always have this like um weird. I feel bad sometimes because I'm like, I don't want anybody that doesn't watch the show to win it because those to be honest, like those promotional videos where it's like a winning or we're doing a drawing, like, those get promoted differently through YouTube. Whether it be like ASIO may throw some money at that video because you can actually like people don't know this, but you can buy views on YouTube. Like I could take this video and put $100 to YouTube and they will promote it more. So those videos about the giveaway, a lot of times the manufacturer will put in $100 on the video so that it gets more traction. It gets, I mean, it's just business, right? I got to move away from that glare. It's annoying me. So you get a lot of new people that come into the show, which is the goal. And I'm always worried that someone that's just like just saw the video and hit the subscribe button and never going to watch another video wins it. I always like, man, I hope someone that has watched it a long time. And Buck Slayer, you're the perfect person for that because you have been here forever. Um, how do you so tips on getting a partners? I'm not real good at it yet. A couple of them have just fell on my lap, just making friends at shows, and then they're wanting to. For example, guys like Latitude, they're partner of the show now. I met Alex, who's an owner at Latitude, probably 4 years ago on a hunt. Super good guy. Like brought me a saddle at that hunt. Didn't ask for a saddle. Nothing. Just he's like, I want you to have one of these. If you ever want a saddle hunt, I want you to use this one. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's awesome. And I to be fair with I used a bunch of other saddles too. I didn't just use the Latitude one, even though he gave me that one. I bought some other ones just to try them out. Um, and then when the whole thing with hunting beast gear wasn't going to work out, he's Alex first person to call me. Man, he's like, man, I would love to help you out with this show if I can, if there's any way I can, let me know. Like you are the perfect person to help to partner with. We love what you do, and we want you to be successful. And he's like, I think we can help you. And I'm like, thanks, man. And things time progressed, and then uh, a couple meetings later, and all of a sudden he's helping me with the show. So um, it's more about making relationships with partners than necessarily the type of partner you have, right? Joe Miles, same thing. Like he was at shows, we were kind of next to each other in booths. Um, Went out to dinner with him, just made friends with him. Hey, man, if you guys ever need something from us and want to work with us, let us know. I'd love to uh, work with you. And then um, we did. Then we did. Lou, same thing. Just we were friends first, and then he's like, if I can be involved, let me know. Well, okay. Um, would love to have you involved, and that's kind of how it works. You gotta be careful, though. I mean, there's companies out there that take advantage of pro staff. Um, there's companies out there that want a lot more than they're giving you, if that makes sense. A lot of people that are pro staffers get that 15% off, and you can put pro staff next to your name, but you have to promote us. And um, I'll give you an example. I'm not going to say the company, but there was a company reached out to me. We really love what you're doing. Blah 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 blah. I'd love for you to be a partner. And I'm like, not to boast at all because I don't really care, but like I am a fairly large podcast in the hunting world, not in the world, but just in hunting. Like I'm up there, not near the top, but I'm not small either. And they reached out to me. It's actually a company that I've used their stuff before. Um, it's archery related. It's nothing serious at all. But I'm like, yeah, send me what you got. I like your guys' stuff. Have heard good things about the owners, and they sent me like the form of what I had to do, and it was like tag us every week in a social media post, put a social media post up about us every week. And obviously you got the ad read, you got the stuff below, like links to their website and gear I use and all that crap. And I got to the final thinking like they were gonna, this type of stuff would be like they got to pay me quite a bit of money for me to do this. And I got down there and it was like you get 40% off up to $200 worth of gear, which you guys know in the archery world that don't go very far. $200. After that, it's 15% off another $500 worth of gear. And then after you've spent $700 or more, you got to pay full price. I'm like, who signs this contract? Like, I'll just wait till Black Friday when you go for 30% off, and then you'll be, So there's a lot of that in the hunting industry that I've ran across. Guys at Exodus, they were the probably outside of Lou, they were the first person. They were the first guys. Again, just friends that always wanted to help out if they could. Um, and those guys are uh, just really good at YouTube too. So they're good to have partners because they have a lot of knowledge about YouTube. Those guys have like 110,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel now. So they've been a good partner just to have to bounce ideas off and help me with things. And obviously they run podcasts too. So I'm not the best with partners though. Like there's other guys that excuse me, there's other guys that do way better on partnerships than me because they know the I don't know, they know the business better than me. But I'm just winging it. I don't know anything about it. Me and Dan didn't we're not good. Dan had Tide We, he did a partnership with Tide We, but other than that, I don't think he had much else. So we just didn't know what to do or what we were worth and all that stuff. So partners are sorry about that long rant. Partners are great. If you have the right ones, they're great. And if you don't, it can be miserable. I mean, it can be I've heard some horror stories. Luckily I've never had a bad experience yet with a partner. So but I've heard some horror stories about some companies taking advantage of small creators, some promises that don't get fulfilled. Probably on both ends, though, right? All right. Sorry, man. You guys get me on some stuff. I could talk about this stuff for hours, though. Hmm. I guess Buckslayer. In conclusion, I wouldn't worry about partners until you have enough of a following for them to pay you because their little discounts aren't worth the price of admission. Thanks, Dennis. That means a lot to me, man. I really appreciate that. Buckslayer, I did see that video. Like everything else Latitude does, it was so well done. Like those guys are awesome. And Matt from TX5, I don't know if his name's Matt. That just sounds right. Seems like a really good dude, and I know people speak very highly of TX5. So it's going to be. I mean, that's a big man. Latitude just grows and does it so eloquently. Like they're just good guys, good group of guys there. I'm really proud to be a part of their small part of their little team they have going on. Um, Buckslayer, we do have some cool they do have some cool stuff coming. We got some new saddles coming out. See you later, Russ. Talk to you later, dude. Slug Wars. Trump 2024. He may be our best option. Isn't the debates on tonight? I'm not gonna watch them. It's gonna be embarrassing. we could live stream those if we held on here long enough. I don't know what time they start. Oh, dude, our politics is the most embarrassing thing on this planet. uh, Mopar minivans. That's funny. I want a truck sponsor, dude. That's what if someone from Toyota, Chevy, Dodge, someone works there at a dealership and wants to sponsor the show, I will gladly do something for you if you give me a truck, man. Freaking Rosie, my pickup. I was at this feed mill today doing some work and get out of my pickup, and the guy that I was with, he gets out and he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "Your truck's all scratched up." I'm like, "What?" And I looked, and she has taken her claws and scratched down the whole passenger or the driver's side bed side, scratched it all up. I was not in a very good mood. I got to close that window sill sometime. Let's see here. Robert, will you be in a saddle or a stand with the trad bow? Good question, man. I'm going to do some practicing because to be honest with you, I would rather carry a saddle and a platform around with me But I'm gonna have to see how good I shoot my trad bow at. I'm going to practice a little bit out of the trad bow. If not, I'll just use the B stand. But I think I can. I think I'll make it work. I'm gonna get a different platform, um, and see if I can make it work a little bit better. Arrow, arrows raised. Have the video comments been more positive lately? I know the Eberhart response was rough. Yeah, yeah. Um, I guess so. That you know, um, videos come and then they kind of go and fall off, and he's that response has fallen off. I thought that was a good podcast. I don't. I think people like to manufacture drama. You know, I mean, I don't know, man. You're gonna get me on a tangent again. It's just like if you got a problem with something on this channel, like it's not your freaking channel, it's mine. I can do whatever I want on here, right? Like if I want to talk to Jesus, if I want to talk to, I I don't know. Why do people think that they have to like this isn't your channel? If you don't like it, like whatever, right? It's weird. It's a weird thing people have in their head. Like your responsibility is not other, to judge others. But yeah, I mean, the vast majority of the comments on this show are super positive. There was just that one week when after that Eberhart thing dropped, that it was a mess. It was a mess. And then I had some other things happen uh, personally with just some kid made fun of Huck for being cross-eyed, and that's hard for me to listen to. I wasn't there, um, but there was just a lot going on there. And I was fasting, so I was grumpy because I wasn't eating for 3 days. But that's what that was about, arrows. And I completely understand that maybe John has some of that stuff coming, but there's nobody that deserves to be. I mean, no matter what your personality is or what people think of you, it's like I don't know what's wrong with freaking people. Um, JB, man, he donated 12 new memberships. No, you didn't donate anything. Sorry. You've been a member for 12 months. Awesome, dude. I really appreciate it. That's a long time. 12 months. Holy cow. I don't know if you guys knew that, but that's a whole year. Geo tracker sponsor. My aunt used to have a geo tracker. That's funny. I haven't seen one of them in a long time. They probably all crapped out. I don't think they were real good vehicles. Well, I'll be sure to get off here at 9 on so everybody can go over to CNN and watch the debates. Subaru, I think they're a pretty good vehicle, aren't they? Up north, I know Johnny Stewart has one. He really likes it. I'll probably get either a Forerunner. I really like the Maddie's Forerunner. Um, I don't know what I'll get. I had my heart kind of set on Tacoma or a Forerunner. Robert, yeah, I will be wearing a saddle regardless because of the versatility of it for my um my dog must hit one of the toys because there's a toy um sounding off in the living room right now. But hybrid's a really good option, I think. Predator XL, yeah, a lot of guys use that platform, the bigger one. What platforms are you thinking? Because I have been thinking about switching. So, Latitude's coming out with a new platform. Probably use that one. How's your preseason scouting going? I haven't been doing much right now. Uh, I'm kind of in the stage of life where I'm pretty busy this time of year with kids. I mean, Huck's in golf lessons and swim lessons. Hayes is a baby and requires a lot of attention because he's mobile now. He can crawl real well. So I haven't been doing much, but it's going to pick up a lot. Like I'll start glassing, taking Huck glassing, doing trail camera work. Um, Try to get my eyes on something here pretty soon. So this time in life, I feel like hopefully a guy has done a bunch of their homework in their younger years, and they got some spots that they can go to. But um, that's what I've been doing. The hunting tradition, just a lot of bow shooting. I've been shooting a lot though. That's something I've been working on. Yeah, shining's cool. I don't do it ever. It's like coon hunting. It's at night, and I'm tired. uh, Here's a good question, Chad. Do you run cameras year round, or do you pull them? If so, when you put them back out? I Not on purpose. I don't run them year round on purpose. I do have some out still, but it's mostly because I couldn't get to them. You know, just didn't have time to get back to them. Um, Ideally, what I would do if I like everything was perfect and I had all the time in the world, I have the cameras out um, in areas I like to hunt, and then I leave them all season. Like I do not touch them, don't check them, leave them out all season, and then come January, February after deer season, you go in there and grab those cameras, and then you look through them and you study them. Like so, October 3rd, there for some reason at this spot there was the deer moved in there, whether it be acorns or whatever the case was, and you're like, okay, now I know this coming season that for whatever reason by this trail camera on October 3rd to the 5th, there was a lot of deer in this area. So I can go, this coming season, I would know, hey, that's a good spot to go early season. Same thing, like for whatever reason on November 12th, there was six shooters on this camera. It gives you a good idea that, um, there's a hot doe that comes into heat during that time frame. And then I'll know, okay, this is a good spot for, uh, for next year during the rut to go and set that November stuff. And then I run enough trail cameras where hopefully I have, several of those areas picked out to where this is good October, mid October, late October. And that's how I use trail cameras for the most part. And when I put them back out right now, I'll start putting them back out right now. I'm not, I mean, looking at deer and watching deer are cool, but I'm not really interested in just getting deer on camera without horns on their heads. But right now you can definitely start seeing what they're at, where they're at. And but yeah, I do keep them out all year, but not on purpose. Will a drought affect the acorn mass production? Yeah, for sure it will. Just like it would, fruit or crops or anything else, it can have an effect on it. Storms, bad storms like right now can have an effect on it where it shakes a bunch of the premature um, seeds or the nuts off the trees. That can have an effect on it. There's a lot of things that trees are pretty sensitive when it comes to weather. It seems like to me. Um, so there's a lot of things that can affect the acorn crop, and drought is definitely one of them. Um, which, depending on what part of the country right now, you're either having too much water or it's a drought. Right now, we are borderline drought. We finally got some rain here the other day, but it was getting pretty dry here. I don't know, Chad. You guys haven't got much in Seymour either, have you? Outside of the last couple days, I think just to go back on the trail camera thing, I really do think people use trail cameras completely wrong. Like cell cameras, I think regular SD card cameras left for a year on a spot that you're not going to hunt, and learning when them deer are in there is way more valuable to me than getting some real time camera data. Just because with cell cameras, like getting a picture of a deer an hour after he's been through an area, the odds of you getting in there and killing that deer are not very good, really. I mean, you're a day late and a dollar short already, right? Like you should have been there when that trail camera went off instead of the next day or something. So to me, I think those regular SD card cameras are good. JB, let's see here. Uh, Josh, you had a podcast regarding Spartan Forge. Did you? I did not have a podcast. Did I have a podcast with Spartan Forge? Dan did. I think you're thinking about that, JB. Me and Johnny talked about Spartan Forge a little bit, Johnny Stewart, and he talked about the AI stuff. But as far as a podcast about Spartan Forge, I've not done that. Um, unless I'm forgetting something, but I don't think I am. But yeah, Johnny works with Spartan Forge, um, and he mentioned the AI stuff about I don't know what exactly it is, but it sounds like you know more about it than me. Super wet in northern Michigan, huh? Yeah, I know the guys up in Wisconsin are complaining about all the water they've got, but uh, not so much here in southern Indiana. At least not in where I live at. Well, everybody, I'm gonna hop off here. Um, Maddie and Huck will be home soon, and I'm gonna go relieve my mom of uh, Hayes duty. What we got here? Make sure there's no other. Yeah, I'm afraid you to get stolen. Yeah, there's always a. That's why you generally run cheap, regular SD cameras. Hit the like button before you all leave. Thanks so much, guys. I'll try to do some of these solo ones every now and again, just to talk to the fans separately. Um, Zeke, be good to your sister. Peace, everybody. Hit the subscribe button.